Alright, this is a quick tutorial for Python. I'm going to show you the beginning level concepts and a short little video here. So first thing we want to do is go down here to our search bar and look for Visual Studio Code. If you can't find it, you just type in Visual and it should pop up if you have it downloaded. Here's what mine looks like. I'm going to go ahead and make that full screen and exit out. I'm going to go to File, New Text File, select the language. We're looking for Python. I suggest that the first thing you learn in every language is how to make comments. Comments are text that you don't want to be a part of the program, but you do want to describe things in the program or help remind you of things. So we use a hashtag symbol for a comment. Let's say this is a comment. Add another comment here. Coding in Python. Alright, let's talk about global variables. Global variables are used everywhere in the code. You can say that their scope is global and they can be used anywhere. We have whole number here. This is declaring a variable called whole number. I'm going to give it the value 5 or initialize it to the value 5 because this is the first value that it starts with. Then I'm going to add a comment so I know this is an integer data type. Same thing, so text in quotes, like that. Then I'm going to say strings are in quotes, if I can type correctly. I'm going to add another comment and say this is a string. So I declared the variable text in quotes, and I gave it the initial value, initialized it to strings are in quotes. Let me fix that. Last one is true underscore or false. That. I'm going to give it the value true and then make a comment so we know it's a Boolean data type. So I have declared and initialized 3 variables of the most common data types that you will deal with in a program. These are all global variables, meaning they have a global scope and they can be used anywhere in the program. Now we need to be introduced to the print function. Comment here, this is the print function. Functions and procedures are very similar. The print function allows us to print things out, specifically text, to the screen. Right? We want to be able to print it out to the screen. And it typically prints to output or something we call the console or the terminal. So we're going to say print, and I want to print out the value of whole number. I want to print out the value of text in quotes. I want to print out the value of true or false. I want to do that for all 3 of those. We're going to print those things out. If I save this, now that I've got something written, I'm going to call this Python tutorial.py, and I'm just going to save it to my desktop for right now. Now we've got simple math. It's actually not that hard. We're going to use the print function so that we can see what's going on, but we're going to take the value of whole number, whatever we've made that, in this case it's 5, I'm going to add 5 to it. We call this addition. I'm going to print whole number again, except I'm going to subtract 2 from it this time. We know this is subtraction. This time it's multiplication. We use a special symbol called an asterisk or a star. It's right above the number 8. And I'm going to multiply by 3. Make another comment. This is multiplication. Alright, last one I'm going to show you. There are more, but we're just doing simple ones right now. Division. I'm going to divide by 5. We should get back 1 on that. We'll call that division. Then we also have those logical operators. Remember, these are called arithmetic operators because they do math operations, or arithmetic operations if you prefer. So we have logical operators now. Here we have and. We're going to say print, and we're basically going to make something called a truth table for and. So true and true should give us true. If we do true and false, this should give us false. You need to make sure you use a capital F, by the way. There we go. If I do false and true, this will give us false. If I do false and false, this will give us false. Like that. So that's and. So only one of these actually turns out to be true. True and true gives us true. All the rest of them return false. Both things must be true for an and to evaluate to true. Now we've got or. We're going to make our lives a little easier. We're just going to copy all of this with Control-C, Control-V. We're going to change these ands to ors. Like that. Now, true or true will give us true. True or false will give us true. False or true will give us true. And then false or false will give us false. So you see that the or is basically the opposite of the and. Everything is true except for when both things are false. That's the only time it's false. And then the last one, which is extremely easy, it's called the not. You can just print not true. That's false. You can print not false. That's true. So those are our logical operators, and, or, and not there. Now we've got conditional statements. Let's scroll down here. Conditional statements, or the if-then statements. It's the best way to think about it. Conditionals or if-then statements. Now, I'm going to create two global variables again. I'm going to call this one condition true. I'm going to set it equal to true. I'm going to call the next one condition false. Hopefully this will help us keep track of what is the condition. Now we'll write a simple if statement. So if condition true, then I want to print out this code. So we're going to print the if condition was true. So this code is run. Let's save that real quick and let's see what it runs. We're going to see a lot of trues and falses and things up here when it runs. Did true, false, 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 false. True, 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 false, false, true. And then here we have right at the bottom, the if condition was true, so this code is run. Alright, let's make it a little more complex. If condition false, this time, we're going to print, in this case, because this is false, this will not run. So we're going to say that it won't run. The if condition was false. So this code is not printed. Now we're going to add an else if. In Python we say elif because else if is apparently too long. It's a little programming humor for you. All right, condition true this time. So if our condition is true, then we should be able to run this code. So it says the elif condition was true. So this code is run. You may notice that I put a space between these. This is its own separate block, and this is its own separate block. Just to help us with that, I'll put a little comment in between them. Just like that. Now we're going to create one more, increasing in complexity here. Just to save time, I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to make this condition here false. And I'm going to say the elif condition was false. So this code is skipped. Not printed, skipped. Same thing. This one is skipped. This one is skipped. Now we have one last piece to these conditional statements we can add. We call it an else. We say all conditions above the else were false. So this code is run. So what we should get here is we should get the if condition was true, so this code is run. Then under that, we should get the elif condition was true, so this code is run. And then under that, we should get all conditions above the else were false, so this code is run. After everything up here is run. So we're going to Control S there to save. I'm going to run it. And here's what we see. We've got all that stuff we did up at the top. Then we've got the if condition was true, so this code is run. The elif condition was true, so this code is run. And then all conditions above the else were false, so this code is run. You hopefully noticed that it didn't run all of these. It didn't print out everything. Okay, only when the condition was true. Or, in the case of the else, everything else was false. Okay. Got one more thing to show you. We're going to talk about local variables. Just to show you this, I'm going to create my own procedure. I'll actually call this a function here. So we're going to use the def keyword. I'm going to call this my underscore function. Function and a procedure are pretty much the same. So I'm going to call this my function. Then I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to call this local underscore variable. I'm going to set it equal to, I don't know, let's just make it a Boolean. Local variable equals true. It is a local variable. This is where, right here, this is where my function ends. Now let's see what happens if I try to print the local variable outside of my function. I'm going to say print local underscore variable, just like that. I'm going to hit save, and what's going to happen is we're going to get an error. I'm going to make sure this is saved. Now I'm going to run my code. Down here at the bottom you'll see, hey, line 65, Python print local variable. Name error. Name local variable is not defined. It cannot be used outside of this function. Okay. The code does not see it. Can't be used outside this function because the code does not see it. So I'm going to copy that. If I can copy it right, there we go, and paste. Here. All right, that's all I've got for now. We'll have another lesson in the future.